What's a fun tradition your family has? Pretending to forget my birthday every year. I can relate. Happened again this year. Mine is never celebrating my birthday. I can count the times on one hand in the last 15 years where I have had an actual birthday party thrown by my family with cake and presents. My parents just don't like celebrating it or something, I guess. Wanna talk about? When I was a teenager, my family would stay up until 1 a.m. eating oranges on Christmas Eve. Come to mind, I have absolutely no idea why we did this every year. My family puts oranges in the toes of Christmas stockings. It wishes you good health for the new year. Cheesecake on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let me explain. So basically, when my sister was really little, she thought our dad was black. He's not. So when she was learning about Martin Luther King Jr. Day in school, she thought we had to do something special for our dad. She asked him what his favorite cake was. It was cheesecake, and asked my mom to make some that night for dinner. She, of course, had no idea why she wanted her to make it, so she forgot, and inevitably, my sister had a big meltdown. When she stopped crying, my mom asked her why she was so upset. And she said, because it's Martin Luther King Jr.'s day, and Dad is black. His favorite cake is cheesecake. So now we have cheesecake every year on Martin Luther King Jr.'s day, and we still laugh about that story to this day. Every year, my siblings and I have a pumpkin carving contest. My mom posts numbered photos of the finished products on her Facebook so all of her friends can cast their vote. The winner gets to open the first gift on Christmas. Oh, fun! Does this mean you put a lot of effort into planning your next year's pumpkin? Or is it not that competitive? Because I could see myself going overboard with this easily. Screaming at each other in Polish at birthday parties. Are you my ex-in-laws? Grandma? You are alive? Open house with giant spaghetti dinner on Christmas Eve. Anyone and anyone is welcome, family or not. We give out prepaid cards and gifts to anyone that shows up. We open our gifts after it has calmed down, saving only a couple for Christmas Day. Later, people still trickle in that couldn't make it the night before. I tend to make like 5 crock pots full of spaghetti sauces, so there is enough for a couple hundred people to wander through over the 2 or 3 days around the holiday. We have spare bedrooms and tons of cots we can pull out for anyone that got too drunk to drive. We'll play a bunch of music. Basically, it's just a giant party that anyone can come to. We've had complete strangers show up and end up lasting friends. We then clean up the mess, only to make another, smaller mess on New Year's Eve. Every year for 20 years, we have done a family secret Santa, where we go to a place with a bunch of shops, pick each other's names out of a hat, and then go shopping for that person for 30 minutes and find a gift for $40 or less. We reconvene at a pub and swap gifts and have the joy of seeing that random but special or thoughtful gift they came up with. Best day of the year for me. I am Mexican, and when all the children in the family, this includes even my grandmother's cousin's son, turn 5 years, they throw a party with everything typical and stereotypical of Mexico. Gigantic. They invite people you haven't seen in years. As it's a family of good income, there are mariachis, mechanical games, taco, and other things. Buffet, candy carts, inflatables, horses, clowns, and up to 5 adult-sized piñatas. The whole party room is full of decorations, and even the uncles put money to make it happen. All this after introducing the community to the child in the church. The irony is that I'm one of the cousins who likes this tradition the most, but it's impossible for them to do it with my children because I'm gay. Every year at Christmas, when someone is opening a gift, me and my brothers will randomly scream, "It's a football!" because of a video of one of our first Christmases, where my uncle got drunk and yelled it when my brother opened his gift for him. Bonus points for the more obviously not a football the present is. On Easter, while the older kids, older than 21 are hiding eggs for the younger kids in the backyard. The younger kids are hiding beers in the front yard for the older kids. There are 9 kids. 5 of us are older than 21 and 4 are younger. Include the significant others. We have a large party and lots of beer in the end. The night before every wedding, the best man has to kidnap the bride. Then the groom has to go to every bar around town and try to find the bestest mensch. Once he buys the whole bar around, he can then retrieve his bride. If you want your bride. That's not specific to your family. Everyone does this. Not everyone gives the bride back though. Every year, my family does a Christmas cookie decoration contest. We take one day close to Christmas to bake and decorate a bunch of cookies. The only person who doesn't decorate at least one cookie is my grandpa, but he's always the judge. He never knows who does what cookies beforehand. Whoever wins gets to open a smaller present early. On Chinese New Year, Mom makes dumplings and hides about 6 or so peanuts inside of them for us kids to find. Finding one would get you $5. It's lots of fun trying to guess which had them by their plumpness. It's definitely something I'd want to do with my kids. Every year we go down to a river that flows through the forest we live in and go into the river in my swimwear we had and catch fish by hand. There is also a little island in the middle that we flattened out with shovels that can fit a couple tents. We take waterproof bags filled with supplies and swim across to the little island and camp there for a week and cook the fish we catch. Soup Day! Once a year, midwinter, the family gathers at my parents' place and my dad makes about 4 or 5 different soups, including one mystery soup. The guests have to guess the secret ingredient in the mystery soup. The first person to guess correctly wins the coveted Soup Day trophy, which is pretty much just a wooden spoon. At every event, holiday, party, my auntie and uncle have a group photo taken with everyone facing away from the camera. And every time my uncle says, on the count of 3, everyone smile. Every Christmas Eve is just like a normal day. 6 a.m. is when the fun starts. We order a takeaway every year and sit down with our tea and all our treats and watch The Grinch. We aren't allowed to watch The Grinch at any other time of the year, ever, just at Christmas. Make egg rolls and put whole peppers in a few. One time, we accidentally gave the one with the whole pepper to our neighbor. Her daughter-in-law nearly died. For most of my childhood, our family had a pretty old and pretty fancy radio sound system, and it never worked, so it was never used. Every year on New Year's Eve, my father would spend hours trying to get that stupid thing to work, and everyone got super into it. Bets were placed on how long he would last this year, and whether it would work this time, and everyone cheered if the damn thing produced anything other than static, or sometimes even if it made any noise at all. The radio exists no longer, so we probably have to think of a new tradition soon. My mom would write and hide little riddles around the house as a sort of scavenger hunt to find your Easter basket. You'd have to follow them in order to find your basket. So this one goes way back and it's super fun every time. Our little family gets together and we desperately search the entire house for money. It's usually got enough to pay any bills or for groceries. But with a couple of quarters, we can split a gumball from a candy vending machine. My dad suggested that we switch it up next time and do the exact same thing, but at somebody else's house with masks.